duodenum dynamics. We have the guts to make progress.
Stop it, dude! Stop it! Stop it, dude! Hey!
Alright kids, quiet down. You got a special guest today, an osteologist who learns about osteology. His name is Marcelo.
Hey kids! How are we?
Whoa, dude! He's got a nice maxilla.
Dude, I know.
And the maxilla is not all I have. I also have the occipital, parietal, frontal, temporal, lacrimal, and yes, sphenoid, ethmoid, and vomer. Not to mention
Malleus, incus, stapes, lacrimal, zygomatic, palatine, vomer, mandible, hyoid, cervical vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae, sacral vertebrae, coccyx vertebrae, sternum, ribs, clavicle, scapula, humerus, ulna, radius, carpals, metacarpal, pelvis, femur, patella, tibia, fibula, calcaneus, hallucis, navicular, medial, cuneiform, intermediate, cuneiform, lateral, cuneiform, cuboid, metatarsal.
I bet you guys are all wondering how the bones work. Well, there are 6 primary functions, and I can list them off to you right now. There's support, protection, movement, mineral homeostasis, blood cell production, and of course, well, storage. Fat storage. Up first, we're gonna talk about support. The skeletal system provides structural support to the body. Next is protection. And now, I will be needing a volunteer. Oh, Jimmy, come up here, please.
Okay.
Jimmy, please indicate your heart. Could you please hand me your heart? You see, Jimmy, when this organ is outside your body, it can get damaged. That is why your bones are there to protect it. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this now, Jimmy. Have a seat, Jimmy. Up next, we are gonna talk about movement. There are 6 major types of joints: ellipsoidal, gliding, ball and socket, pivot, synovial or hinge, saddle. Let's demonstrate how each joint works. The ellipsoidal joint allows bending and side-to-side movements. Gliding joints, which are between the tarsus and the heel, allow for strong sliding movements. Ball and socket joints, which are found in the hip and shoulders, allow for movement in almost every direction. Pivot joints allow for the rotation of the neck and spine. Hinge or synovial joints allow movement in only one direction. The saddle joint allows for rotation and side-to-side movements. This joint is found only at the base of the thumb. Now we're gonna talk about mineral homeostasis. Dan sucks at effects. You know you do, Dan. In your body, you have phosphorus and calcium. Your bones are like a reserve to your body. If you have high levels of either of these things in your bloodstream, your body will store the amount that does not need in your bones. This is how you maintain balance of minerals. See? Phosphorus and calcium stored inside the bone. Now, our last 2 subjects both have something in common.
Deathly. And common.
Bone marrow. In every single bone that we have bone marrow. As infants, we have red bone marrow. But as we grow older, this bone marrow starts to store fats. This is called yellow marrow. The difference between red and yellow marrow is what they do. Red bone marrow produces erythrocytes, red blood cells, and leukocytes, white blood cells. Red blood cells provide oxygen to the body, and white blood cells fight off infections. Yellow marrow is really interesting because if more blood cells are needed, yellow marrow can turn back into red marrow to help the blood cell production. That's fat storage and blood cell production all in one. You are welcome. Now before I go, kids, I want to show you the composition of a real bone in real life. The outer surface of the bone is called periosteum. It's a thin, dense membrane that contains nerves and blood vessels. The next layer is made up of compact bone. This part is smooth and is very hard. Then there's cancellous bone, which is a spongy looking bone that protects the bone marrow. These three layers compose every bone in your body. That is all, kids. I hope you learned a lot today. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this here in case you want to learn a little bit more about the bones. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Lecturer. Wait, you're not Chris?
Yeah, I am.
He is.
I am Chris.
Brought to you by Duodenum Incorporated.